Hello, everyone. Welcome to Art Friends, where we are friends who like art. My name is Coda, and today I am joined by my friend.
Coen, it's me.
Yep, I got most of the words out before Cohen said his name.
I was so tempted to say my name like 2 words into the intro. I was like,
You
nah, I'll
just
wait.
gotta get it out there. It's like people
Yeah.
have to know you're here, or otherwise they're gonna be confused. They're gonna be like, if I finish the intro and you haven't said your name, they're gonna be like, where did this guy come from?
Who's this? His arc wasn't properly set up. He came out of nowhere.
Oh, I was so connected to the main character, and then all of a sudden this side character came in.
I am in fact a side character. You are the anime protagonist, Coda. As we have established before, you are in fact the chosen one,
Yeah. I
born to draw
mean,
Mr.
that comes with
Whiskers.
its perks and its downsides. The biggest downside, being I need to grope women on a regular basis.
You just have to. It isn't an accident at this point. There's just a manual that you get when you're introduced to the job. It's like a an instructor handing you it, and there's like detailed instructions on how to set up situations where you can grope women for fan
Yeah,
service.
exactly. You need to be looking to the left as you bump into the woman, and then when you're falling, move your head slightly down so it falls into the breast.
Bonus point if you manage to use your hands.
Yeah, bonus point if you stand up by putting your hand on the breast.
Yeah.
But hello, Cohen.
Hello, Coda.
Yes, we're here without Opalia today. Opalia was
Yeah,
a
we
bit
kicked her
busy.
off again.
Oh yeah, that was the thing I was meant to say.
That's
Uh,
definitely what we did.
but yeah, in reality, Opalia was a bit busy, and we needed to record today. So Cohen and I are here doing a thing.
I mean, we didn't need to. We just love making content for you guys.
Yes, and for us,
That sounded
mostly
so
us.
sarcastic, but I genuinely like doing this.
I love it too. I mean, it's not like we're gaining anything from it right now, so there's no point except for loving it.
Hint, hint, guys. Give us ad revenue.
Hint, hint. Check the description for our Patreon.
Coda, are you gonna set up a Patreon?
No, that's way too much work.
Epic. Secretly, we've had ads on the podcast this whole time, and Coda's just been making math stacks and not telling anything about it.
Yeah, Cohen, you don't actually watch the podcast. That's how I'm able to get away with it.
Ah, sick.
I've just
Wait,
I've
this.
been making insane amounts of cash.
How much, bro?
At least 2 digits.
Sick. Have you bought your own house yet?
But like 2 digits after the decimal point.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's more than I make on a daily basis.
Yeah, bro, I know. I hate to flex, but
Yeah.
yeah.
This is like a gigantic flex. I love that you made your voice sound like you were flexing, or did you actually physically flex in that moment?
No, I'm not flexing.
No, bro, I'm not flexing. I'm just
Nah, bro,
stretching.
this is just how my abs look.
It's how, yeah. This is what I look like all the time.
This
Who?
is.
Yeah, that's my bicep.
Oh yeah, why is my face red? Tan. I'm outside working on the farm. Yep, I own a farm because I'm rich and buff.
Yeah, I own a farm because I'm rich. The way you said that made it so much funnier. We should
Oh.
probably introduce the topic.
Yeah, so Cohen, we have had one episode in the past where we were by ourselves without Opalia,
Yeah,
and and we did a thing then,
yeah.
as we do for most episodes. And
No, we don't ever do a thing. It's just white noise for one
just
hour
white
and
noise.
15 minutes.
Yes. But we figured it would be fun if we did the same thing, and that's kind of like our thing now. We're going to do this every time it's just us.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe. Unless we get like back to back, in which case we should probably switch it up. Cohen, would you like to introduce what that is?
Yeah, sure. But also, I would quickly like to mention, and I just realized this. Recently, we got someone in our Discord or in another Discord said they had a hard time confusing. They had a hard time distinguishing Coda's voice from my voice, and at first I was like, "What? His voice is 15 octaves lower." But I think this is a. I think we just unintentionally made this episode to be the ultimate training for distinguishing our voices for the people that can't tell them apart.
Yeah. And as we all know, we both have a very strong American accent.
Yeah, my American accent is so strong.
Oh, Cohen, if people are having a hard time telling us apart, you could always just speak Dutch.
Oké, Coda, begrepen. Ik ga nu voor de rest van de aflevering Nederlands spreken. Ik vind het helemaal toppie, weet je.
Do I have to censor any of that?
No.
I hope you're not lying to me.
What? No, I'm not. You can put it in Google Translate, but it would be funny if you did some unnecessary censorship.
Well, the thing
But
is,
like you don't know what word. Yeah, you don't know what word means what, so it would just be the weirdest thing censored.
Anyone who understands Dutch is gonna be like, "What?" I might do that.
That could be very funny. You just censor all the like freaking. You censor every other syllable. That would make it so.
Oh, and we use the duck sound effect, so that's gonna get annoying.
Whack, whack, whack. Anyhow, today we're doing some more world building from scratch. We're building a new world in our minds, in our imaginations, and we expect a whole lot of fan art to be made of these worlds. That was a joke, but please do actually.
Yes, please. Last time we made the plant versus mankind world. I would like to do like a quick 2-minute recap of what that world was before we move on. But yeah, we're going to be attempting to make a new world, a universe from scratch today in the, I guess, 1.5 hours that we have. Basically, last time we did an episode like this, we came up with a world in which plants had been genetically mutated by a scientist who died, and they were slowly taking over the world with their rapid growth. And
the way it would work is that in the seasons where plants and vegetables grow, like are grown, like summer and spring, they expand the world, and in the and in fall and winter there's a bit of downtime, and then in the summers there's this whole military corps. I don't remember what we called them, but it was probably
I think we called
funny.
them gardeners.
Oh yeah, we call them gardeners. And in like the high seasons, the gardeners take care of the plants and kind of fight back, but every single year they come back with some kind of adjustment.
Yeah, the plants are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So
they're like Pokemon, except not really.
Yeah, and we went into much more depth
in that episode, so watch it.
Yeah, watch it. If a slightly sci-fi plant militaristic type story interests you, go check it out. It was episode 12. Wow, that was already a long time ago. This is 10 episodes later. Hey.
Hey, consistency. We've done it.
Consistency. We did it. We also had Christian on exactly.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's almost like we're definitely consistent. Just don't look at episode 3. Thank you.
Wait, which one's episode 3?
Pokemon reviews.
Oh. Well, we'll just have to make that like episode 103. The next one.
That would be funny. Episode 23? Question mark? No?
No, yes, no. All right. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. Let's kick off some world building and we talked about the concept of what world building was a bit in the last episode, but I don't want to have to do that again. So
watch the other episode.
Watch the other episode.
This is a sequel. Watch the prequel. That's not how it works. Shut up.
Yeah. Don't go watch the original. This is the controversial
Yeah,
spin-off.
this is the very controversial spin-off. Coda, quick, say something controversial.
No, the controversial spin-off would be if me and Opalia did an episode like this.
Oh yeah. Wait, oh, I can make it controversial. Coda, waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Like, uh, I'm still not sure if I agree because I haven't had that many waffles in my life. But I'm
Uh-huh.
sure there will be just a war going on in the comments.
Well, I would say waffles are superior because what do you do with waffles and pancakes? You put syrup on top of them. With the pancakes, the syrup just kind of rolls off, but with the waffles, it's built to hold the syrup. It's built for its intended purpose to have syrup put on it.
Have you ever had a Belgian waffle?
I have not.
They're so good, I swear to dog. I ate them in
I got some
Brussels.
strobe waffles recently.
Yeah, from me.
And then I ordered more because I got addicted to them.
Did you order more?
I did.
Do you have some in your room right now?
I have some in the pantry downstairs.
Absolutely fantastic. Did you give your family the Stroop waffles?
Yes. So basically, Coen, as a birthday gift, got me some stroop waffles, and I got addicted to them. So now I keep getting them for myself.
Also, wait, I never sent that drawing I made for your birthday, did I?
Wait, you did that?
Yeah, I made like a whole drawing. And then we were like, oh, this costs $60 to ship. Let's not do that.
Just send a photo of it.
I don't have a photo of it, is the thing.
Take a photo of it.
It's probably somewhere in my drawer.
Oh well, we'll get into that later. But
Somewhere.
for now, let's do some world building.
Yeah, let's build a world. And Coda, I don't know about you, but I feel like doing something different. Like last time, we went very, very like modern, very grounded, something that is very out there, but still seems in the realm of like pseudoscience and some kind of feasibility, you know?
Right.
It's kind of grounded in the real world. I can't pronounce things today. But today I would like to do one of two things, which is either some kind of high fantasy, you know, classic fantasy setting, but with our
Right.
own twists and ideas or whatever, or just something very psychedelic.
I love psychedelic.
But how do you world build something psychedelic?
I would love to get into that. So,
That'll
do
be
you
fun.
want to spitball a couple ideas, or would you like to first think of ideas on how to build something psychedelic?
I want to quickly pitch this idea I had for like a really psychedelic first person shooter.
All
Because I like
right.
first person shooters. It's basically the whole thing takes place in a dimensional rift or something along those lines, where it's basically a whole bunch of artsy, colorful, and crazy things all mashed into the same dimension. So you could have like a Greek temple with a British tower just spliced through it with a whole bunch of with like pink, blue, and yellow bubbles coming off of the side of it.
Right.
And the characters in it, I think, could be kind of cool because you could literally combine everything with everything. So I had an
Right.
idea of like, I don't know, a character that's literally a clock squid. It's like a clock robot with squid parts or whatever.
Huh.
And a gun that shoots yellow bubbles. Don't know why I thought that was fun. Oh yeah, it was like a flute gun that shot yellow bubbles. I like that idea. And I
That's
think I
funny.
drew something of it, but I really like the idea. Just a
Yeah.
flute. What if it made like the worst flute sound? Okay,
Yes.
that's just a very vague and fairly dumb idea I had once, which is kind
It's
of where
fun.
what I had in mind with the psychedelic stuff. But we could go in a whole different direction.
Yeah. So the way this works for the viewer who didn't do their homework and go watch the last episode,
Go
episode
watch the last
12.
episode.
The way this works is we'll usually pitch several ideas for maybe 20, 40 something minutes. Then we'll spend the rest of the time we'll choose one of those ideas and spend the rest of the time elaborating on it and really going into depth making that world.
Yeah.
So we're in the stage right now where we're just saying ideas, but I think a psychedelic world could be fun.
Yes.
Let's
Would
think
be
about
very hard to world build.
what is psychedelic, right?
Yeah.
So I think psychedelic is anything that looks like you're hallucinating. Like doesn't quite make sense. And of course, there's lots of bright colors and stuff, the aesthetic that it's associated with. But to me,
Yeah.
anything that's all warpy and meshy and doesn't quite make sense is
I can
psychedelic.
see that. I'm gonna look up the definition of it on Google.
Yeah, that's probably smart. So I'm not just making up a definition.
Yeah. Like, that's a fun difference between you and I. Like, you think of something really hard and you actually use your brain. And I try to do that. And then I'm just like, Lamau, time to Google. Could you stop it with the explosions?
Coen, is your house getting arsoned?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they found me. Psychedelic adjective. Relating to or denoting drugs, especially LSD, that produce hallucinations and apparent expansion of consciousness. I think we can just keep it at hallucinations and apparent expansion of consciousness.
Yeah. So for me, I've never done any form of psychedelic. I've never been on drugs of any kind. So I'm not the person to make a world like this.
Bro, don't worry, I've been to Amsterdam.
Oh dear.
No, but like, what immediately jumps to mind for me is just the visuals of Luca Cari's paintings, who I showed you the other day.
Yes.
Like, imagine that, but a game.
Huh. Very interesting. And
I
I
know, right?
think you're getting attached to the game idea. We should work on just the
Yeah, we
world.
don't. I just like games. We just need to think of a world.
So I think what to keep in mind when making a psychedelic world is to make something that you don't quite feel grounded in. Something that, like, no matter how hard you try, there's just always an element of, wait, I don't fully understand what's going on. Why can't I figure out the rules? You know what I'm saying? Because when you're hallucinating, there are no rules. It's
That
just
is
kind of
true.
you don't understand any of it. So to make something psychedelic, it would kind of just be like, what's happening now? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe an element of the world could literally be that the gravity the gravity shifts from place to place, so you're never quite grounded.
Huh,
So
like in a literal sense.
like on some locations, the gravity might be like perfectly close to what we have on Earth. On another location, like it's all air, and you can breathe everywhere. I like that concept. I've always loved that concept where it's just instead of giant planets with their own atmospheres, space is breathable somehow, or just the
Right.
characters don't need to breathe, and there's a whole lot more smaller or broken up chunks of things you can go between. Like something like, I don't know, Mario Galaxy, or that one part of the Phobos base level in Doom Eternal.
I do like the Mario Galaxy idea. I think that's fun. And perhaps like there could be different sections of the world where space work differently. So like if you go somewhere, you get all warped. Or like you
Ooh,
look really big in one place when in reality you're not.
this sounds like a lot of good painting material, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So like I think it would be cool to have a world where just everything's a little broken. It's like space and time and gravity all work differently in different places. So like you go to one planet and you start aging faster and look really tall, but then
Huh.
on the planet you feel exactly the same. Or I don't know. I'm not smart enough to really get into all that stuff, but
Like,
it's
do
the
we,
concept's there.
Coda, you are. Like, do we wanna have it be like somewhat inconsequential, where anything could happen to you and you might feel bad in the moment, but it'll wear off eventually? Or do we want to make these changes permanent and make the world like hella dangerous? Because if you go to that aging place and you don't recover from aging like 50 years, you just lost 50 years of your lifespan in an instant.
In an instant to everyone else, but 50 years to you.
Oh, by that point you'd be completely insane, my god. But like, if your whole body gets warped dimensionally, would you recover from that? I do prefer the idea of being able of just people that live there being able to recover, you know?
Yeah. That would also imply that there's a base. So like everything's default and then it gets warped. But I think to truly make this world ungrounded, no one knows what actual reality is. It's
No one.
different. No one knows this is how time should work. It's just this is how it does here.
And the concept I want to play with is where we don't really have groups or races of people, but it's more like each and every character is just their own standalone person. And they might have alliances and relationships, but they're all widely different and all have widely different outlooks. So one might be a classic gray alien that is also a hippie in space, while the other one might be, I don't know, a koi fish dragon.
What if psychedelics like marijuana and stuff in this world made everything look normal?
Whoa, dude, the suburb's lit.
Whoa, dude, you're like 5 feet tall. Weird.
Whoa. But I like this idea so far.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, would it take place like on the different planets, or like how would we go up? What would the setting and location be for this? And
Like
how would we divide the different places of space and time? Like, what's the division between them?
like what I said earlier, I really like where's a dimensional rift that just pulls from all sorts of different things across space and time. So again, you might have like, I don't know, a church on a UFO on clouds floating in midair, and the gravity sideways, so you're walking on the side of a church. Something like that. Just a whole bunch of stuff.
Taken upside down right at the MC Usher stairs.
That song's so good.
Hey girl, I'm having a party at my mansion tonight. Everyone who's anyone in LA is gonna be there. I'm extremely rich.
Hey girl.
Girl.
Welcome to my house party.
It's a giant mansion, baby.
Don't slip on all my money. Yeah, there's a lot of models and some supermodels too. You can touch my
diamond fridge.
It costs more than the country of Peru.
We listen to too much NSP.
No, we don't.
You can never.
You can never. I cannot wait for the prophecy to come out.
Oh, the prophecy's gonna be so good. I can't. Yeah. I'm just hyped for the Mystic Crystal music video. We need to tube sync it when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what setting would this take place in? Because the idea that there's different planets and different places works really well with the like in space that you can go to. Works really well with the idea that there are different places where time and space works differently. So, maybe did you ever watch that? No, I think it was an episode of Phineas and Ferb. Where am I thinking of this from? I have this very vivid image in my head of lots of tiny planets, like so small only one house is on them. But it's like a community where there are tons of tiny planets all just scattered across space.
I have no idea whatsoever.
But it's just an image in my head, and for some reason I'm seeing it in the Phineas and Ferb art style.
Huh.
But we could do something like that, where there are a ton of little tiny type
when planets. You want to be an animator so bad, you start thinking in the Phineas and Ferb art style.
Disney, hire me. I breathe the Phineas and Ferb art style. I don't want to get too in depth into the psychedelic work. If you'd like to move on,
I think we can leave this behind for now.
and then we'll come back to it later, possibly. But
Yeah.
I personally also had a fun. It's less of an idea and more of a uh concept, which basically I really like the Halloween vibe.
Oh, are we going? We are going with the Halloween vibe.
Yes. I love Halloween vibes, like the pumpkins and like the werewolves and the ghouls and like the oranges and like
This
I don't
is
know.
Halloween. This is
This is
Halloween.
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 Do do do
Halloween.
do 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 do.
Last week we're slowly exposing how hot topic emo we are. Last week we sang a whole bunch of My Chemical Romance songs. Yeah, next week we're both talking about cosplay, and we'll be in a Jack Skellington cosplay throughout the entire recording.
Yes, it won't affect the recording since you can't see us. However, for the entirety of the 2-hour podcast, you're going to hear in the background This is Halloween.
On kazoo.
Oh, the kazoo. I didn't know kazoo could go that low.
Oh, it can go pretty low.
Sounded like a weed whacker or something.
Damn it.
As soon as you did that, I imagined a race car like going new fast.
That's what I was going for. Actually,
like,
that's not what I was going for. That's what happened. My car crashed, damn it.
When you went high, it was like bing, and it just immediately just zipped off in the distance in like 2 frames.
No one will ever see it again. Die zien we nooit meer terug.
Hey, I know what that means.
Yeah, you need to adopt the phrase now. Try to pronounce it.
Die zien we nooit meer
Terug.
terug. Terug.
Good enough. Like to you, I sound like I'm speaking a completely foreign language, but to me it's just a thing I speak, yo. Isn't that crazy?
I know, it's so odd. Language is such a weird thing.
I love it. Anyhow, so we're going with the Halloween vibes. What are we doing with these Halloween vibes?
Well, I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't really have an idea. I just adore Halloween vibes. Like there's an anime called All Saints Street, and
wait, what?
There's an anime called All Saints Street.
Never heard of it.
But in the intro music, in the intro theme song, at the very end, there's a little clip where all the characters are in Halloween costumes, and it's like a Halloween it has nothing to do with the actual show. The show doesn't have those vibes, but like there's just that one clip in the intro, and that's my favorite shot from the intro. It just makes me so happy. And every time like a TV show does like a Halloween special, I get so happy. I don't know, I just love the feel of it.
Halloween's just cool.
It's just really cool.
Boy, I sure do love living in a country that practices Halloween every year.
Oh, you don't get free candy.
No, we have a whole set. We have a different holiday for that, Coda. We call it Sint Maarten. It's about a guy who came into a city to see a marching band, but on his way there was this broke man, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna cut my cape in half for you," and he gave half the cape, and then people in the city were like, "Bro, you're awesome."
Coen, would you say he was saving
the broken, the beaten, and the
damned?
My God, this is the most brilliant idea. I'm gonna the thing is, it's different from Halloween, where as soon as you pass the age of 12, you're not allowed to do it anymore. or whatever.
Oh,
It's
oh
like
wow.
but Halloween parties are still a thing in the Netherlands, so that's cool. But like, I want to do this now. I want to just take my bike, look for kiddos on the street trying to get candy with their lanterns and their songs, and then just full blast Welcome to the Black Parade while throwing a whole bunch of gummy bears at them. This sounds like the best idea ever.
You carry on,
Oh.
carry on. As face.
And oh, you're broken down and beaten. Oh no. And oh, you're dead and gone, believe me. Trust me, I will throw candy at you.
Though you're dead and gone, believe me. Trust me, you will get gummies
And
from me.
diabetes.
Oh, but yeah, so what so when I think of Halloween, I think of like monsters and ghouls. So maybe something to do with ghosts and spirits and paranormal stuff?
Paranorman.
Hi, I'm Paranorman.
Don't you know what that is?
No.
It's a thing, and I don't even know what it is, but I saw it in a movie theater once, like the trailer of it, and I was like, huh, this is a thing. But it's about this kid that has the ability to see ghosts. So he's basically Klaus.
Oh, wow.
Except it's all stop motion, and it's kind of cool.
Oh, I think I might have seen that. I think I might have watched that movie.
Was it good?
I remember it being good when I was a kid.
Sick. Time to rip off Paranorman. No.
But yeah, so what are your immediate thoughts?
I want to go with something like, I'm not sure if we could go in two directions on this. We could make it like some kind of medieval setting with like werewolves and ghosts and vampires and all these sorts of stuff. I know, like Castlevania, or the one werewolf game we have in the Netherlands. That one sets a very occult mood. Like, we could go in a more occult direction, or we could go full on Nightmare Before Christmas and just make it Halloween Funland, basically.
Yeah. Or we could even go like, you know how Avatar is kind of timeless? Like it's like you can't quite place the time period they're in. We could try to do something
Yeah,
like that.
that could be cool. Like, I would argue that the fantastical Halloween land is so out there that it's borderline timeless, you know?
Yeah. But I think there's so many Halloween things and monsters that it's easy to get lost in it. So we kind of need to find a core premise. What
You know
is
what I
this
wanna
world?
you know what I wanna delve into?
What?
I wanna really kinda it sounds a bit counterproductive for me because I love cool stuff, but I wanna kinda stray away somewhat from the traditional cool stuff, or like handsome vampires and handsome werewolves or whatever that look really pretty and really strong and really cool or whatever. And I wanna try experimenting with some more abstract, more cult uh, aspects of the supernatural.
Uh-huh.
So it could be like a really, like, you watch a lot of Drophy, right?
Yes.
You know that thing Julia does when she draws a wolf where the eye's like on the side and it's kind of like a human eye?
That's a very oddly specific thing, but I do know what you're talking about.
I knew you would know. But like, those sorts of visuals, maybe it could be like animated,
We
or it
just
could
need to
be live
hire
action.
Julia.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's hire. I'm sure she'd be willing to do some more. We can give her exposure.
We can give her exposure. We'll tell her she has. We'll tell her she has like 100 hours to finish it, and then she'll be like, "Ah, yeah,
But this is the stuff you enjoy drawing, so why wouldn't?
yeah. Why won't you just do it for us?"
You
No,
do it
but
for Drawthy.
yeah, what makes Drawfee better than us? 1 million subscribers? Elitist. No. Like you don't have to agree with me if you don't want to, but I would like to experiment with some more occult
Personally, I
things.
do agree with you. I think going in a grittier, more strange direction as opposed to like
Yeah.
the appealing stuff is gonna be
Like
fun.
I think it's still gonna be appealing, but it's just gonna be very strange. And I'd like to have, like, if this would have a plot, I think it would be like, um I also don't know why, but the visuals of Samurai Jack popped into my head, and like a very dark and occult Samurai Jack kind of style
Right.
sounds good to me for this. Maybe a bit less shapely, don't know. But if this were a show or something, I'd imagine it to be like Death Note-esque, where it's like constant mind games, and the audience is super invested or whatever. And maybe the
Yeah.
antagonists are like very psychotic but very smart. So it's a werewolf that eats people, but he's very smart and very charming about it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
The little demon dude from Disenchanted comes to mind.
Yeah,
Lucy.
it could be like a literal game of Mafia.
Yeah, that's the game I mentioned earlier. Werewolves. Let's just adapt to Mafia. Like in the Netherlands, we have Mafia, but it's werewolves, and it's so much better.
So what's the premise of this world? What is this world?
Like that's a good thing to think about. Like, is it just a regular or like semi-regular medieval fantasy setting where occult stuff has been there all along and it's just now reappearing, or did the occult stuff just come to be? Or how does it work?
Huh. Huh.
I'd like it to be like medieval European, and like I don't mean like castles, but I mean like early medieval Europe, where it's like all sorts of wooden shacks.
Right.
So no big castles and kings and knights, just wooden shacks and poor people.
Yeah, anarchy. But
Anarchy.
maybe huh. My natural instinct when making worlds is to segregate things into villages and be like, you have this section of land dedicated to this species, this section of land, and it's kind of gotten to the point to where it's lazy to do that because I do that so much.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of where else we could go with.
Maybe it's just, maybe we could really narrow it down to one big village or whatever, where there's just a whole bunch undercover monsters. Maybe maybe they're um like we could go in a direction where where some characters are actually monsters or whatever.
So would there be humans?
There would be humans, I think, but I think that every single unique character would be a unique monster. So like one could be a vampire, the other one could be a ghost, the other one could be a werewolf, something like that.
Right.
But that doesn't need to
I think
happen.
it
We
would be
could
fun to
also,
also make monsters that aren't traditional, like vampire, ghost, zombie, like to just be like this thing, this
oh yeah, that could be cool.
mash of parts.
I do like werewolves a lot though.
Yes. I think we could have both.
Yes. What if one's like, no, but crap! I just realized that's just a Nightmare Before Christmas rip off, but just a guy made out of worms.
Huh.
Worm man, worm god.
Yeah.
We brought it full circle. Worm god.
Worm. We have an obsession. We have an
Worms for the
addiction to
worm god.
worm.
Worms for the worm god.
Worms for the worm god.
Yeah. Oh, that could be cool. Like a crap. That's just a vampire, but I was thinking of like a blood cultist or whatever.
Yeah, I think
Maybe like a mosquito, like a human-sized mosquito. that would be female because only female mosquitoes suck blood.
Huh. Oh, okay, okay. So I just came up with an interesting concept. What if there is like you're on this planet almost, this Earth,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one huge village. There is no known villages outside of it. Surrounding
Mm-hmm.
these villages is like infinite forest or infinite desert or something.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody who goes out of this desert or forest ever comes back. So no one's ever been able to see what's beyond it. But from this, just monsters kind of wander into the village from outside and just integrate themselves into society.
Hounds came from the west. The vampires came from the east. The chicken people came from the moon.
That's one of the conspiracy theories of this world. But like
This is why we need to send pasta to it to keep the chickens occupied.
exactly.
They cannot come to Earth while they're eating pasta, and that's just how it works.
Right. And it wasn't one big integration. I mean, immigration. It was like monsters slowly leaked and are still leaking into this village. They just kind of show up from the outside of the boundaries and no one knows where they lead.
That could be cool. Maybe it's just I do like the idea of just a completely isolated village. Maybe it's not like a whole society, but it's like a little society of just people trying to get by, surrounded by what
Yeah.
seems to be infinite terrain, you know?
Right.
And
I think
I'm
I think
imagining
there should
like
be like enough people to where they like need a leader because once you start getting super few people, you can't do too much with it. I mean, you can, but you can't do what I have in mind. Like if you have
mm-hmm.
a village of 50 people, that's a very different story
Oh,
than one with
that's way too
5,000.
low. Way too
Yeah.
low. I'm thinking not, of course not all characters would be. Maybe each episode, if this was a series, could look at different characters and a different monster or whatever in the village.
Right.
But I'm thinking of like 500 people or something,
Right.
maybe
And
more.
what if the monsters who show up have lost all their memory? So it's like they don't know where they came from. They're just kind of like I woke up in the forest and I'm here now. And that could lead to a fun conspiracy of where are they coming from.
I don't like that too much
Uh-huh.
because it kind of sets some monsters up to be good characters, and I like the idea more of these monsters specifically having been sent by wherever they came from to mess with the people that live here
And the
and
people don't
murder
know that
them
they're being messed.
suddenly. Yeah, exactly. And maybe one of the scenes could be like um girl opens room, girl sees man sitting inside, girl questions, man's like, when we came from the east, we were like, wow, what a shithole. Wasn't supposed to say that shit. And then he gives this whole menacing speech, and then he walks behind the chair, and his face is occluded in shadow, and then he walks past it, and his face is now a very occult-looking werewolf or whatever.
Right.
I like the idea more of them intentionally knowing what they're doing, and them all knowing what the others are doing, and them working and conspiring together.
And I
But
think
they're like so duty bound that they never reveal, like never in the whole story, where they came from at all.
yeah, and there's probably I'd assume some kind of security force that checks. Like if somebody ends up letting word get out, then
Oh yeah,
they'll kill them and kill anybody who heard it.
that could be cool. But I like to think that they're just the specialists, the best of the best
Right. How many
or
monsters?
something.
What's the monster to person ratio?
I'd say like uh 20 people. Like I don't want. I'd say like 10 monsters in total.
Oh, in total. So this huge society, there's only 10 monsters.
Yeah, or maybe 11. 11's
I was
13.
imagining. I was imagining. Oh,
13's the spooky
13's
number.
good. I was
13's the
imagining
spooky
something
number.
totally different. I was imagining, like, out of 20,000 people, 1,000 of them are monsters.
Oh, that's a whole lot.
Well, what I was thinking was, like, there was this maybe a huge immigration from beyond the forest where they never are allowed
That
to
could
go.
work. But I think
And then
that kind of, for me at least, that ruins the whole subtlety thing. Like, I like it more of them, it just being like a very like a very small group of people, just messing with a whole society, basically.
and they're
Instead
all
of,
pretending to be human.
yeah, but like when 1,000 new people come into a village, people start to notice, like, hey, I don't know you. And hey, where did you
Right.
come from? You know? So I like the
Right.
idea of just maybe at some point, like I'm imagining this as a TV show now. Maybe at some point halfway through the city, like a certain neighborhood gets overtaken by the monsters,
Right.
and you could have freaking House of Wolves playing by My Chemical Romance in the background. Tell me I'm an angel. Take this to my
To my
grave.
grave. Run like the devil, cause I'm never gonna leave you alone.
That's a good song, but I like the visual of just this once good neighborhood just being fully lit by just red and black, and there's just a whole bunch of werewolves running around, or like 5 werewolves. I think it would be cool, like maybe when it starts out, there's like only 13 monsters,
But
but
there's slowly more and more.
yeah, because like if we think of werewolves and if we think of vampires, they're like classic examples of monsters being able to infect normal people to become monsters, And maybe
Right.
it could work where they're like very subordinate, like they're
Right.
very clearly a lower class, maybe even mindless,
Mm-hmm.
Well, that could be a cool setup where when the guy, like the scene I was describing earlier, when the guy ends that scene, he might be like a vampire or something, and he bites the girl, and all of a sudden the next morning he reveals to the town that he's married this girl, and he stays close to her at all times, and it's not because he loves her or something like that, but it's actually because she's now a mindless slave or whatever.
Oh yeah, like what's his face at the end of Castlevania?
Hector.
Hector, yes.
Poor Hector. Poor
Poor
Bren.
Hector. Poor Bryn. We need to start
Poor
the
Bren.
hashtag poor Hector.
We need to start the hashtag poor Bren. He's been through way too much.
Bryn, poor Bryn, really.
Poor
That's all there is
Bren.
to say.
Poor Bren.
But yeah, I like this idea, and I think this isolated village with monsters infiltrating it and messing with it is very fun, and we could elaborate on it more. But first, let's play everyone's favorite game that we each say one word and hope a nice idea comes out of it.
Yeah, I do want to develop this concept more because I think it's the one I like the most so far.
Yeah. So, but remember last time we really liked them, and then the plant one came from this game. The
That
one
is
we
true.
developing.
That is true.
So, all right, in that case, let's do 2 or 3. I'd say probably 2. You start one, then I start one.
All right. Gigantic.
Flames.
Envelop. You gotta say banana. The banana.
The banana.
The gigantic flames envelop the banana.
Oh, go watch
The
episode 12.
gigantic flames envelop the banana.
So wait. Jeez, that's like our 6th or 7th My Chemical Romance reference this episode.
We opened the gates last episode. We're unleashing our emo lord status now.
Say it now and say it loud.
That's not how the text goes.
I don't remember how the intro.
The future is bulletproof. The aftermath
That's it.
is secondary. It's time to do it now and do it loud. Killjoys, make some noise.
Drugs, give me drugs. I don't. All right.
You're gonna have to censor every single word.
Whack, give me whack.
I know whack.
But
Just the entirety of the song "Na Na Na Na" being sung by a duck. My God, I love that.
So.
Okay, we're not going with that one.
No.
Start one, Coda.
All right, we'll probably do a third one since that one kind of got sidetracked.
Yeah.
But let's go with Sun, spelled S-U-N.
Born.
After.
Dragons.
Destroyed.
Lake.
Because.
Tax evasion.
So Sun born again after. Sun born after dragons destroyed Lake.
Because tax evasion.
I like the idea of the sun being born. Like maybe like.
Or maybe something being born from the sun.
Yeah. Or like perhaps the sun is destroyed and people are trying to make a new sun.
Maybe it's like a high fantasy world, but the most powerful wizard actually accidentally misfires, and somehow makes the sun explode, and then, oops, we just made it go supernova. Shucks.
So now there's a bunch of wizards like himself. Well, maybe like he.
Maybe the whole story surrounds just a group of wizards trying to keep the heat, something close to the heat of the sun, intact, but the whole world is cold because they're not quite powerful enough.
Right, and so everyone's constantly working to
find a better
again.
solution. And maybe the final solution would be that they find a sun dragon that's just powerful enough to just chill in space and be hot.
Yeah.
And he's not actually temperaturely hot. He's just the sexiest dragon they could find.
When everyone who looks up at him just gets warm because of how hot he is, he doesn't actually provide warmth.
Yeah.
They just start to blush so hard that
Johnny Bravo.
And if he winks at you, you will boil.
Your blood will boil. And with boiling blood, he's covered the emerald. No. Wait.
I still love that same short. Was that a Doom song?
It's the Doom tune.
The Doom tune. Tune is such an innocent, wholesome next to Doom.
Doom tune. Doom's got some good tunes. Can't wait for them to get on Spotify.
So, you want to play this game again, Coen? You start off?
Yeah, let's go. Reflections.
Appear.
Lake.
Reflections appear lake.
I'm gonna skip grammar.
People.
I don't know if this is 2 words, but alter egos.
That should be fine. People alter egos.
Maybe it's like a world where it's just a whole bunch of people. Maybe it's like some afterlife situation where everything's again very abstract or something. And it's just this gigantic forest of just abstract shapes of people with all their regrets and hopes and whatever they want, and then like there's this lake which they can step into to like live a different life than they did, and it's kind of like an alter ego, their reflection, and see if they liked it better.
Huh.
And maybe it could be like a short film where it's all about realizing that your life was actually much better than you look back on it. Like maybe
Right.
everyone's reflection was actually much worse than their regular life, and that makes them appreciate their regular life a whole lot more.
Huh.
That's what jumps
Interesting.
to my mind, at least.
Yeah. I like that. It's definitely a lot more poetic than what I was immediately thinking.
What
Perhaps,
were you thinking?
well, I was thinking like, I don't know, I was just thinking like literally high fantasy alter egos. I wasn't thinking like conceptual stuff like this. So I like this better.
Neat.
So, oh, that could lead to some really pretty imagery.
I know, right? Like, have you ever done the trick where you invert your iPhone screen and then turn on the camera and look at the world around you?
No, I
It's
haven't.
so cool. I'm imagining this all to be like blacks and blues and whites, just inverted color scheme, basically.
Uh-huh.
It could be like an anthology where every episode is a different person's story.
Birthday Dad.
Birthday dad? Question mark?
Wait, did you not get it?
No.
Oh.
What
It was
what
a
was that?
BoJack Horseman reference.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that, and the last time I watched it was like 2 years ago, so I don't remember much
I
about it
still haven't
whatsoever.
watched it, and last time I watched, do you see
I
the
still
issue
haven't
there?
finished it. Still haven't properly watched it.
Birthday Dad was Mr. Peanut Butter's show.
Oh, nice.
Basically, he went around different points in time and talked to different people every episode whose birthday it was. And for that day, he was their birthday dad, and he taught them a lesson.
It's literally Uncle Grandpa.
It was literally all based. The entire show concept was based off a greeting card he found in Walmart that said "Happy Birthday, Dad."
Show is so good.
I love it so much. BoJack is one of my favorites.
You need to draw BoJack. Haha, I'm the horse guy. I can draw BoJack for you.
Free commission?
Yeah, sure. I don't want you to pay me. Sounds good. I'll write it down and see when I get time for it.
Don't actually. So, let's see. I think this has a lot of potential, but it's more of like I picture this being a chunk of a world. It's like this is a thing that happens within the world, not a
Yeah,
world
and
itself.
honestly, I kind of dig worlds where you can kind like the um, the one we made in the first episode was very broad, and it's like one big world, and you kind of get a feel of the whole thing. But I also really love worlds where it's just very small scale, and you kind of only get to see a chunk of it,
Right.
and you can imagine all the rest in your abstract mind.
Like
So
Spirited
like the
Away.
I still haven't watched that movie, but yes, like Spirited Away. But kind of like the concept we had earlier with the occult invasion. That's a good name, actually. Occult invasion.
Mhm.
And this one also, where it's just a super small scale thing with some cool elements that
Yeah, and
maybe
since we
hints
went
at a
really
much bigger picture.
since we went really large this time, I think it might be fun.
Yeah, honestly, I want to flesh out the occult invasion, but I think this concept is pretty neat also.
Yeah.
Like,
Personally,
I it
I
always
like oh,
it
continue.
always oh sorry, but it always helps me when I'm like with world building and creating stories. It always helps me to kind of have visuals in mind already. So like for the plant world, I had some very clear visuals of like 70s military, vaguely sci-fi, very planty, very pretty green colors. You know, like
Right.
Vietnam War esque or something. combining
Right.
with Evangelion or whatever. And with the occult one, I had a very clear thing in mind with maybe like Ian McCaig, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Ian McHugh style architecture with
I
maybe
know who
some
you're talking
samurai.
about.
Yeah, that guy. The guy that paints floating ships and stuff. You know the guy. And cool architecture. Something like his architecture with the samurai jack / werewolves or werewolf van Bakkerdam, the Dutch card game influence style.
Right.
You know, occult aspects, something like that. And with this one, I'm thinking of like, I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but Lois recently posted some very pretty paintings and drawings.
Yeah, the dark ones.
Yeah, the one with the inverted girl in the reef, you know,
Yeah, where
like
there
by the
was
water. That's
the
the one I was
pitch
thinking of, and
black
I'm
girl
also,
with the white leaves around her.
yeah, that's the one. That's with like, did you watch that movie Harry Potter 3? Did you watch the third Harry Potter?
I did not watch it. I didn't watch any of them.
Oh dang! So how hard do you want to get beaten by the comments? No, but there's this. That's probably Harry Potter movies are actually surprisingly good. Like holy crap, I rewatched some of them recently and they're good. But like in the third one, in the later half of the movie, there's a whole bunch of stuff with like a dark blue forest and white spiritual stuff, and the lake. So that's kind of what I'm drawing from. Haha, art friends drawing. Got him.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think I think the one with the lake would take place in a I don't know, I almost modern setting. Like I would tweak a couple things, like no smartphones, like
Yeah.
maybe flip phones, like it would
2006. I'd
Yeah,
keep it
so
fairly vague.
I would go back to like the early 2000s, maybe 90s-ish.
Yeah, something like that. Gutter
Uh
punk time? No. No, but I also imagine the characters in this to just have no facial features except for eyes. Don't know, but that just popped into my head and I
Interesting.
quite like it. And maybe
Interesting.
there's no dialogue and it's all visual.
That would be awesome.
And it's all super emotional, and maybe there's a scene where a man sees his beaten, and his damned alter ego, and he has a face to face, and they hug, and then the alter ego disappears, and then the man hugs himself, and then it's all emotional, really sad, because then everyone knows, oh, he finally learns to accept that his life was wonderful, and that he lived a good one, and that he shouldn't have regrets or things to do, or
So yeah,
something
this is
like
like
that.
after people die, this is like a pond that they go to where
Yeah,
they get to overview them lives. Wait, so can you explain the concept to me one more time?
it's like something like an afterlife situation where everyone just kind of hangs out in a dark forest or a very white forest, I don't know. And there's this lake, and in the lake you can see your reflections, and if you think your reflection is better than the life you led, then you can jump into the lake and live the life your reflection lived. And if you like it more, you can stay there, and if you like it less, you can um, go back. And it's kind of all about learning about life, and it's kind of like what if scenarios too. Like maybe every water ripple is a different scenario. Like I've always thought, you know, my parents decided to live in this one town, but they could have also very well decided to live in this other town. So what would have happened if I lived in this town? for my whole life instead of growing up there, what would be different? What would my life have become? You know?
Right, and I don't think there's a way to answer those.
No, there isn't, but I want to answer it in fiction because of wish fulfillment, damn it. No. No, but I think that could be I think it would be a very comforting show to watch or something. Maybe it's a
So
movie.
this would be their alter egos, would be perhaps something they regretted doing. Their alter
Yeah.
ego is if they hadn't done it, or something they didn't like that happened. That it's what if that didn't happen.
Or maybe something they really despised, like maybe one had a really big issue with their dad, and through their alter ego, they get to see how much their dad actually cared about them and stuff.
Right.
Also, I'm spitting out a whole lot of deep emotional and abstract concepts, but I can't. If you hire me to make this stuff, I won't be able to take any of it seriously. That's a joke. I would be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you would as well.
I don't have a good track record.
I don't know. You enjoy it, and you're like you enjoy talking about that sort of stuff as I. So I think
Yes,
we'd
I
both
do.
be good at it.
Yeah, we're good. Hire us.
We good. We good.
Hire us. Hire us.
Wait,
Now.
I just realized when you fire something, shouldn't it be called lowering them?
What did you say?
Instead of firing somebody, you should lower somebody.
What's the joke here?
First you hire them, then you lower them.
Oh, like high. Yeah, I had the word like higher, like HIRE in my head, and I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, that was confusing. Sorry about that. That was a very dumb move on my part.
No, I made it. I found that the
tiny bit of a stretch, but I do get it.
I found that the more elusive a joke is, meaning the less information you give, the more they have to piece it together, the funnier people find it.
Hardships.
Oh, that punchline's not good, but the setup made it work.
No, like I made it so elusive that people have to figure this whole joke out. Wait, if if you're watching this, please type out the entire joke in the comments.
We'll pin it.
We'll pin it. We'll do it. And if you, by the way, if any of you decide to wanna make Art Friends fan art or fan art for these worlds in particular, be sure to share it on our Discord. We have a freaking Art Friends fan art channel, and if you make it, we'll share it on our Instagram too. Wow.
Yeah.
You'll get exposure.
Yeah. I think the main lesson, and this is getting back on track, I think the main lesson in the pond or the lake one would be the philosophy of no regrets, meaning everything you do puts you where you are now. So if you can make yourself happy with where you are now, you should regret nothing.
Yeah. Like maybe it could be a bit more nuanced than that, where you can have regrets, but you shouldn't be beat up with them.
Well,
you shouldn't
I
be
also
hung
think
up
that
with them.
you shouldn't regret anything because everything led you to where you are now. So if you just work to make yourself happy now, then you shouldn't regret what you
think
did.
that regretting some things is a part of learning from your mistakes. But like
I'd say that's two separate things, learning and regretting.
To me they're kind of similar. Like when you burn your hand, you regret doing that a whole lot, but you also learn from the mistake. So to me they're kind of intertwined. So that's why
but let's say your hand heals. Well, you shouldn't be like, I wish I didn't burn my hand. I'll regret that. You can let go of the regret and keep the learning from your mistake.
Yeah. And like I think it's just us having different definitions, but to me it's like the learning from it is part of the regret, you know? So it's important to have the regret, and it's important to have learned from it, but you shouldn't be hung up with it or beat yourself up on it on like every night. Oh, I shouldn't have touched that hot plate. I'm so dumb. I'm so idiotic.
I think the order goes: do something, regret it, learn from it, forgive yourself, and don't regret it anymore.
Yeah. Something like that. Hell yeah.
Yay. But that could be the lesson, or something along those lines.
I think this thing would have a really wonderful score. Like, the music would have to carry this thing. Music and sound effects.
Right, because if we wanted to make it no dialogue.
Yeah. Maybe each episode could start with like a poem.
Oh, I would love to write a poem. I love
like poems. A really quick poem. Like
Have I ever sent you that poem I wrote about the dogs getting on the couch?
No, you didn't. I am quite curious, actually. Well, I have like 40 minutes left of time, and I still need to work on an illustration. So you want to chat afterwards?
Yeah.
I think we already have two pretty solid concepts, which we can just.
Which one? I think we should take one and
develop it a bit more.
Really develop it just a little bit more.
Yeah, for like another 15 minutes or so.
Another 15, 20 minutes, yeah.
Sounds good. I think we're pretty much
Which done. One do you like more?
Like, I want to go with the occult invasion one, because I think I do love the concept of the like reflection lake and meeting your negative self or whatever we're calling it. But I do think we've already like hit most important notes, and the rest would just be basically thinking of a story instead of building the world. You know? But like, it's a bit different because like with the occult invasion, we'd still be thinking of some kind of storyline, but it will be more like the world is the storyline, basically.
Right, and I think there's definitely some huge unanswered questions we need to answer about this occult invasion one, when there's still some ones we don't have. When we've answered most of the questions we'd have to about the lake one. Yeah,
I think the lake one sounds like a lot of fun and a very emotional show. And I think it would be wonderful to have that show be for all ages.
I do too.
If that was possible. Like, a cultivation is definitely going to be PG-13 and up. Depends on how intense we make it, but...
We could even go Castlevania with this and just be like, all the blood.
All the blood. I gave them blood.
And then at the very end, we're like...
I gave you more than you could drink.
Oh yeah, you want nudity? Here you go.
I gave you blood. I just made another My Chemical Romance reference. Exactly.
Freaking it
would never be enough. I gave you blood. And it's really quite alarming, 'cause I'm such an awful freak. That's a good song.
Soon enough, we're just gonna have sung the entire Black album.
Yeah, next episode will just be Coda and me singing the entirety of the Black Parade album.
Oh, I like
we won't even do it. We won't even do an intro. It'll just start with, now come on to this tragic affair. Wipe off that makeup. What's in is despair.
So tear off.
Don't remember the next.
Something the black dress mixed in with the night.
Nice.
I
don't know.
Expect you all cry.
If you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, you can find out firsthand what it's like to be me. Now get around your kids and kiss them goodbye, and encourage your whatever, and expect you all cry. I swear to God, we have sung so much. I am not gonna I can't even sing, and we're just doing this for fun.
Yes.
We're gonna get copy striked.
Someone needs to make a compilation of I love recording these episodes because you can tell what we're obsessed with at the time. Right now, we're both obsessed with My Chemical Romance, and in 2 years, we're gonna look back at this and be like, "Oh yeah, you remember that time when we were obsessed with My Chemical Romance?"
And then we're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, let's become obsessed with My Chemical Romance again."
Just like that time we were obsessed with Mika.
Oh, you're gonna get me started now. Second too hard on your lollipop, our love's gonna get you down. Second too hard
Say
on your
love,
lollipop,
say
love. Our love's gonna get you down. Oh yeah, we were doing world building.
Oh yeah. I don't know. This is better. You want to give up art and become a cover band?
Yeah, let's go.
I want to be your father. Wait, who? What order are the family members?
Oh dang! I want to be your brother. I want to be your mother. I want to be your father too. Never make
Wait, I think it's
Coda, even if they want
I
us
think
to.
he does like the males, like he does father and brother, then mother and sister.
I don't know actually.
He does the males then the females. I don't.
I'm gonna.
Oh, tiny love. That's one we both know.
Yeah. It's
But
not a sunrise over a canyon shaped like hearts. It's not a love that's. It's not a love song in Central Park.
Something about Central Park.
Whatever. Listen to all of these songs, people. They're good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be obsessed with them.
Yes, we have the best taste in music.
Yeah, for sure. Should we link Art Boys at some point?
I don't.
So people
we need
can
to link it
listen
where
to
people
it.
can listen to it. Art Boys is
But
is a playlist
not
run by
edited.
Coen, Speedscape, and I, where we all add songs that we like. But we need to make it to where people can listen but not add songs.
Yeah. Like it has Coda, me, and Speedscape, who's irrelevant because he's only been on one episode. Ha ha ha. That was a joke. Speed, we need you on another episode.
We do. You need to. We could talk about how to draw Thanos.
Just exclusively. Just have like a 15-minute conversation about Thanos' chin and what are the best ways to draw it.
Speedscape. He's like, yeah, and like the and the
Do a
detail of
British
his chin
accent.
is the most important part. You see, each bump is about exactly this far away, and if you can get
Is this your attempt at a British accent?
No.
Like
This
I can't
would be my
do it
attempt
either,
at a
but
British
that was
accent.
British accent.
This is my British accent.
He's gonna be cringing at us.
He's gonna be cringing at us very hard.
You talk so much faster. Why do you talk
very fast? What are you talking about?
No, that's French people.
As we all know, everyone who speaks a language
French rap doesn't exist because it's just every single song. Like, listen to French people talk. They are spitting bars. My God.
Oh yeah, world building.
Oh yeah, world building.
Okay.
We need to title this world building. Also singing My Chemical Romance.
So
what if we made the what if we just replaced the intro music with us singing a My Chemical Romance song? You need to cover a My Chemical Romance song we sung in this episode with your ukulele and put it as the intro music.
Or the little outro bit.
Yeah. Like Sweet Home Dry Island.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and
yeah.
What would I sing?
Dang, you heard the news that you're dead.
How did we both think of that?
I was like, wait, is he doing that? No, he's doing that as well. High five. Did you high five?
I did.
Did you high-fived him.
I did.
It was like dunk. I was like, oh, I will high-five myself because Coda's hand is not here at the moment, and you're just like, hey, Mike. We're the best.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
world building. Let's
So,
see. Where are these monsters sent from? Why are they invading this?
I never want that to be revealed. I think they just want to mess with people and take over the city. I think that's their goal, but who they're being sent by is a complete and utter mystery.
Well, I think
for
we
even
should
the
at least
writers.
know. Well,
I think we
don't
should
like
have a
things that
vague
are
idea,
mysteries
but I
to the
don't want to
writers.
know.
I do, because if we don't know what's going on, it's going to lead to plot holes. It's going to lead to writing
That's
ourselves.
true. Let's just say. Also, I don't like the plot device of like they were sent from hell. I mean, like it works, but it no. Don't like it as much, you know. They just came from some unseen dark land to conquer whatever, to just take over the entire city.
Uh-huh.
I cannot say city anymore without thinking of Welcome to the Black Parade. What is happening? Like, I'm gonna be in English class. I'll be at Cambridge or whatever. And they'll be like, Coen, what do you think of when I say city? To see a marching band. He said, son, when? And I just,
you
you
grow
grow
up.
up. I just keep singing the entire song. And they will not stop me.
Of the
I'll carry on. I'll carry on. And though I've gotten detention forever, you know that I'll keep singing.
Though I've gotten expelled, you know that I'll carry on.
I'll carry on. I cannot hit these notes for the life of me, but trust me, I'll still carry on. Do or die. You'll never make me stop hitting me in the ribs. You'll never make me stop. I'll keep singing when I'm in the gravestone. Trust me, I'll just never stop this part.
Even
Something
when
like that.
my vocal cords are gone, I'll keep on
singing this particular song.
I'll keep on singing this one song.
I don't care. Okay. Man, we are so funny, except it's not gonna be funny to anyone who doesn't know that song. We need to force Speed to listen to this episode. He will have a blast.
Yes. But
and yeah, I think they're just sent by some unseen force, and I like them all being part of the same plan.
Yeah, I do too. I think they should all be, but I don't know, because I don't want to not know what's going on.
That's a you problem, mate. No.
Like, I think not knowing what's going on is 100% time less cool.
I like to keep it vague because I want to keep some mystery in there, even for the writer himself. But like, for my purposes, all I need to know is that it's a group of monsters that either banded together or was sent by some unseen force. I like to think that they banded together because that means that there isn't really a final boss, you know? Like, these are the monster characters and they're the ones that are important. There isn't some like overlord controlling everything.
Oh, that might be nice. Okay, so what if the reason they can't exit this forest is because it's plagued with monsters? And most of them are like mindless, like the Castlevania monsters. But perhaps a few of them were born genetically mutated or evolved or something, but they're intelligent enough.
I like to think these, maybe they're like immortal in the way that they can't die from aging, but they can be killed.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe they have some shape-shifting abilities or whatever. Time for some
I think it
smooth-skinned
would be fun to
walking.
have a that's almost not distinguishable from a
But
human.
I
Looks
like the
really
idea.
tired.
What'd you say?
I think it'd be fun to have a zombie that's almost not
I
distinguishable
don't
from
want
a
to include
human.
zombies in this, not gonna lie. I want
Really,
to
I
stray
think it'd
away
be
from
fun to
zombies.
have like an undead just looks
Yeah,
really
definitely
tired.
undead, but not like specifically zombie.
Huh.
Like I'd like to come up with a different thing. Maybe it's a zombie a vampire can create where when a vampire bites someone, they don't just turn them into a vampire, they suck them completely dry of all the blood and they turn like completely white, like absolutely pale. And they're these like vampire zombies, basically, with a better
Right.
name, where they're just really pale, very skinny, because all the blood has been drained from them. Just mindless beings, basically. I think that could be cool.
Yeah, that could be fun. So
Like it
these
isn't just. I
monsters,
was
is
thought
there
it was
is there
strange
a
in vampire
goal?
media.
Right. So this forest,
Left.
why can the humans not go into?
I think it's because just these
One, I think
monsters
it's
live
because
there.
it's seemingly infinite. Like they can't find an end.
Yeah. Like I do like I want to mention it earlier and I might have actually, but I like the idea of just taking place next to a forest, not like next to a forest, but also like very expansive grasslands.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
It's not like the forest runs up to the edge of the village. There's like
Yeah, not like that.
grasses.
Gra
Gra.
gram gra.
Gra.
We need to
We
do
need
a
to make
world
a
building
Goethe
episode on
emoji.
that. Hell yeah. Let's get Sai to let's commission Sai to draw that.
Yes.
We'll pay him.
And
He
it's
won't
just
have a
called Gra.
choice.
But
Gra. No, wait,
so
it needs to be gra in all caps. Gra!
but so it's just infested with monsters. So if it's infested with monsters, why do they not go into the human village, but
Oh
these
wait,
do?
I have a solution for this where maybe it's still a very limited amount of monsters, so people like wander for days on end and they just can't find an exit until they get picked off by one of the monsters.
Ah, I see.
And maybe one of them, ooh, maybe the whole plot could get jump started. Like all these monsters, they live outside the edge, and to them the forest seems infinite as well. And maybe it's a yearly tradition for the villagers to send out one person to scour the forest and hopefully return home. And then one person decided to be smart and make a map and like a really detailed geographical, for all the measurements he needs, map and track his
Uh-huh.
path. But then he
Right.
gets picked off rather early by one of the monsters and he gathers the rest of the monsters.
So they don't even know the human.
Yeah, they just wander around the forest being immortal until they see these random dudes or women, uh, and they pick him off. But then they find this one guy who had this really detailed map, so they're finally like other ones might have had maps, but they might have been super crudely drawn or not proper. And then this one guy had this really detailed map, and they see that there's a civilization beyond, and they decide that that's a perfect place to be. That could be their crib instead of this wicked forest, you know?
Right. And perhaps the village is intentionally hidden in some way so that the monsters can't get into it, and the map is what leads them to
I
finding
like
it.
to think it's intentionally hidden. Like compared to the rest of the world, the village is very small, so the monsters would have never found it.
I suppose you're
Like
right.
maybe after a million years or something, but they would have never found it naturally. But with
Yeah,
this map,
if we're
they
going
found
by
it.
the logic that there are very few monsters.
Maybe the first, yeah, I like the logic of there being very few monsters, and the show could end in two ways, and I like one more than the other. One is where they defeat all the monsters and the hero or protagonist or whatever gets victorious. But the one I like better is where the monsters actually win.
I like that as well.
But I like to.
I love sad endings, and I'm just gonna say that right now. I think that's why I enjoy so much of George Orwell's stuff.
Bro, you should. Have you read 1984?
I haven't.
I have. It's good. Read it. I really like the idea of there being a limited amount of monsters.
Yeah, and perhaps the 13 that get together are just like they had the monsters have kind of made little tiny when they meet each other.
Yeah, I want all the monsters to be rather intelligent.
I think so. I think
like I don't know why, but we need to have, I know, almost a Slender Man-esque, really buff dude who just never speaks.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's a trope I really love? Is where it's again, this feeds into the mystery thing, but it's a trope I love where it's a character that has such a horrific true form or face that when people see it, they die of horror.
Like Bird Box?
And yeah, like Bird Box. But I was thinking of like Mimikyu from Pokemon. And my favorite example, Topic from Ben 10. And he's just really cool dude. He's like a yellowish green ogre with a cage on his head. And the cage like binds across his whole body. And when the cage opens, everyone that looks at him just completely freaks out. And I kind of like that, where it's just this really silent, big, intimidating, elusive dude who, when you see his true face or whatever, you just get horrified beyond belief.
Right.
Like Bird Box.
Perhaps he could always be wearing like a scarf and a hat or something.
Or a cage. Or a full-on face mask. Corona proof.
I was about to say, used to, I would have been like, that's a bit weird, but now I'm so desensitized to it.
Yeah.
So,
but Jay,
so humans were.
Also, I think I wanted to mention something really important earlier, but I don't remember what.
I guess humans wouldn't even be aware of monsters because anyone who ever saw one was gone.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. For all the monsters know, they just live in this infinite forest with sometimes random people wandering by who they kill instantly because they're monsters.
And so, would the monster's goal be to take over the village so that they can have infinite?
I think so. Like, I don't think they need food, but if you lived in an infinite forest and you found out that there's a whole civilization of these wonderful little play toys you can just play with before you absolutely destroy them. Like, a term that would be big in this show or whatever would be playing with your food.
Right.
Like, I don't want these monsters to be powerful so that they could just take over the entire city in one day.
Right. I think the reason they don't take over the entire city in one day is that they have to kind of slowly work their way to the top. Or
and they're smart enough to do it. I really want these to be like sly, intelligence, manipulative, plotting guys.
It could be similar to Parasite, the anime. Have you watched that?
No, but I've heard that you love it and that Opalia hates it.
I love it. It basically, in Parasite, there are a bunch of parasites that come from space and take over these. They take over these humans' brains, and the humans that they take over become super powerful, but they still have to like build. They'll be like, oh no, like someone who knows about the parasites will be like, wait, I think a parasite's starting to make his way to Mare. They're like slowly working their way up and being smart about how they take over.
That sounds like a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, because they're powerful enough to kill people, but they're not powerful enough to just take over a city.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, this could be a fun show. Maybe we just copy the way Mafia works completely and title all the episodes to be like day 1, day 2. Oh, that's what I
Uh,
want to mention. Like, I would love the first part or the first episode or the first chapter or the first level or whatever we want to make it to be like I'm imagining episode, but I would like that to be just getting introduced to the townsfolk that live there and the tradition of sending someone into the forest and establishing the mystery of this forest. And then
right.
like halfway through the episode you find out it's a whole scene of the monsters. Just grew one, maybe it's the werewolf because I like werewolves. Finding the guy with the map and he howls and calls all the ones together and it could be like a vampire, a witch, a
Yeah.
lich, I don't know.
You
Maybe
know what
like
I
a
love?
maybe a leech guy. Just a guy that's a
That could be
leech.
fun. You know what I love? Is when
That's just a
scenes
vampire, just realized, dang
I
it.
love when I love when shows have a certain mood for the first episode or 2, and then they just destroy it later on. So, for example, this show I watched, it was a martial art Ses Menos, I forget exactly what it was like, set in Mexico,
Never heard of it, but when you said
and
martial arts show, the first thing that popped into my mind is the Disney XD show Kicking It.
and I think the first 3 episodes of that are so brilliant, and I almost don't wanna say anything, it's kinda spoilery, so I recommend going and watching it right now. It's an anime, uh, but I'm gonna spoil it just so we can get the general effect.
Alright, but I want to
So
quickly finish that thought. I want the first episode to end on some very dramatic tones and uh, and maybe some priest or whatever having some prayers about one day finding what's beyond the forest while some dramatic music plays and you see the monsters coming out of the forest into the
Right.
city and integrating themselves.
You know what could be fun if the
What could
viewer
be
didn't
fun?
know who was a monster.
Yeah, I definitely like. I want the monster voices. Like maybe the monsters wouldn't even talk in the first bit,
Yes.
and they would just be all in their monster form, and like you would just see shadows coming out of the forest. Like I want the monster forms to be very hidden. They need to be completely obscured in as much shadow as possible. So if it was a werewolf, you'd only see its nuzzle in the first couple of eps, and it would
Right.
be a really big deal when he walks behind that chair and comes out the other end as a full-on werewolf. You know, something like
Right.
that could be cool. But please explain to me these first 3 episodes. Spoil
So
it.
yeah, I think I would want to have this be very lighthearted and then it take a crazy dark turn. Uh so
Don't.
the first like 2 episodes or 3, I forget what of Cis Menos. I'm guaranteeing you I'm saying that wrong. Cuz I forget what it was even. But
Mm-hmm.
it's something to that effect. And basically it follows this kid and he's like this 12-year-old kid and he's kind of a little rebel. He, like goes and steals an apple from the fruit stand because he's poor. And then he stumbles across this martial arts dojo where there's 3 characters, 3 adults, like 20-year-olds and a sensei, an old man. And he starts to hang out with them a lot and live with them. And the first 2 episodes are going through the arc of him becoming connected to these characters. And you think the boy is the main character, but in the 3rd episode, the boy straight up dies. He gets crushed by a statue and just dies. And then you figure out the 3 adults from the martial arts dojo are actually the main characters.
But I think the reason that works is because it's a big twist and a dramatic shift in tone, but it still establishes. I'm assuming it still establishes what the show is about
Yes,
and
it
what
does.
happens in it. Like you want that balance where it's like, again, episode 3 of our show could be like the first murder. Maybe the episode would be titled "The First Murder" or something. I don't know. And it's the part where they come into someone's room and they find their entrails hanging from the ceiling and they're like, this wasn't a normal murder. And then they notice the
Right.
claw marks on the couch or whatever.
Yeah, I think it would be super fun if the viewer had no idea that monsters were even in the village until later. like they were basically discovering it as the villagers did.
Oh yeah, but I think we can have both. Where like you don't know when they enter the village, you don't see a shot of them entering the village. But like I would like it at the end of episode 1. Because I want every episode of this to end with some kind of hook or cliffhanger or something. With some dramatic music, because I like that.
Yeah, I
kind of like
I
kind
like
of like
that, but I
Umbrella
don't want to
Academy.
rely on it because
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
cheap.
It's very cheap. But I dig it. I'm not sick of it yet. But no, it's kind of like the first episode could be like you see a shot of the village and then either a shot of going through the trees and then seeing a whole bunch of eyes lit up of 13 different monsters and then walking towards the city, to see a marching band.
I think it could be fun if perhaps the guy gets mysteriously killed, and so the guy with the map village, right? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I think my Discord is like about to crash.
Oh boy. But like, I don't think it would be odd for the villagers to have the map guy die, because they do this every year. It's a tradition, remember? Every year they send someone out like, yo, find what's beyond Lamau, and they never return. So it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, basically. Yeah, I think his Discord crashed. So hello everyone, welcome to the Commercast. Today we're gonna talk about why tracing is the best thing ever, and you should definitely take credit for everything you trace. So, basically, when you trace, you draw the lines yourself. You definitely don't have to credit the artist or mention that you traced it whatsoever. You can just go post it, say that you made it, and nothing will go wrong at all. So that's cool. Be sure to do that. Trace a whole lot, take credit for all of it. Yeah, you gotta do that. You definitely won't get any punishment for that. People definitely will like you. Nothing will go wrong. I am not sarcastic. Haha. Yeah, this bit is running a bit dry. Just like my humor. Hehe. Hee hee hoo hoo. I'm doing the peanut noises. Coda's gone. Coda took the kids. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Guess I'll just wait for Coda to come back and flex on me again with his minus 12 octave voice or whatever. Yeah. The thing is, I can't talk to Craig because he can't talk back, which is kind of a shame. Not gonna lie. Blow another ray, get plastic surgery. Give us more detonation. Wow, Coda sure is taking long. This is taking a long time. Just gonna. Never mind. Would have been a funny bit. That's today. Just gonna watch a YouTube video while I wait for Coda to come back and stuff and do things. I was
Hello?
about to watch a YouTube video and I had just muted myself because you took so long.
My computer completely crashed.
Holy dang, how did that happen?
I don't know.
I didn't plot anything, don't worry about it.
Did you talk to Craig at all?
No.
I'll see in editing.
Dang it. So yeah,
So I
where were
think it would
we?
be fun. Where I was gonna go is I think it would be fun if like the end of the first episode, you only get hinted that there are monsters. So like for example, the dude gets picked off without even knowing what's going on. Like he he's walking in the forest and he just shabap gets killed off screen and then his
Shpap-pap-pap.
yes, and his map falls to the ground and then you see from off screen a hand with like long with like pale skin and long fingernails like hinted to be a vampire come in and pick up the map. And then the next episode just starts back in the village and from
It's so
there you
tempting.
slowly start to realize monsters get integrated
It's so tempting.
to say
Gimme something like vampire money, come on.
Jeez, they're everywhere.
Everywhere. We can do this all day.
We need a monster that's like a scarecrow.
Oh, dang it. We already did it last week. Watch last week's episode. We talked about more My Chemical Romance there. And we also sung more My Chemical Romance there.
We did.
Sung in quotation marks. I can't sing. Coda can't sing. If you want proof that Coda can't sing, watch the one episode where we made a story where he at the end sung Sweet Home Dry Island.
And it wasn't good.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Any hoot. I don't know how much more time we have to elaborate on this.
I have 5 minutes.
I think that's enough to do an outro. Let's wrap it
Yeah.
up.
I think this is a fun concept. Wish we had the budget to turn all of these into shows or whatever. Don't know if we'll be able to execute them, but I like them as concepts.
Yeah.
And I hope that all of you will make fan art of it because you're kind of required to know. That's just how it works. If you've made it this far, you're required to do fan art. Doesn't mean even if it's a stick figure. You still gotta do it.
I mean, it is legally binding in some states. I'm not positive how it works in Europe, but I do know in some states in America, having made it this far does require you to make fan art.
This goes for Ohio, Washington, Maine, Spain, and Kazakhstan.
My favorite states.
Yeah.
So that being said, I enjoyed this episode, Coen. I was
I
sad
did
that
too.
Opalia wasn't here, but I think every
Yeah.
time she's not here, we're gonna get in some nice world building.
She missed all the My Chemical Romance singing. Oh no, what a shame.
Oh no. Poor her.
Poor her. Hey, poor her. Horror. Horror. Also, I would like this show to not have many jump scares at all.
Oh no, I don't like jump scares. Like it.
I think they can be used well sometimes, but you don't
They're
want
kind
them
of
to happen every.
cheap. For me
They are very
personally,
cheap.
after I watch a movie,
Slow
I don't want to be
burning.
like, wow, I got jump scared a few times. I want to be like, after I watch a horror movie, I
What
want to
is
be like,
happening?
yeah, not only that, but I want to get home and be like, what if it gets me?
The boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Oh no. Jack Skellington is going to be in my closet tonight.
Oh, that's a dream for most emo girls.
Oh.
And emo boys, because he would literally be coming out of the closet.
Hey.
Hey.
Unless you go in the closet with him.
Cozy.
Winks. Perhaps for 7 minutes.
What do you mean?
Are you not familiar with that?
What do you mean?
I'm pretty sure, at least I've seen it, people call it 7 minutes in heaven, where at a party they'll literally lock two people in a closet and force them to make out for 7 minutes.
Bro, be out of breath after like 30 seconds. I haven't practiced at all.
Nope, I've never been able to practice either.
Dang it. Hey, ladies of Louisiana or any other American state, if you want some practice with Coda, hit him up in his Insta DMs.
I've gotten about 3 DMs from accounts that are just like, yo, I'm a chick. With like a heart. That's based. They're not saying that. They're being seductive. But
yeah, I know. I get them all the time. They're the only kind of female affection I get. And they're bots programmed to get my money.
Oh. I've in the past been tempted to respond to one just to see where it goes. But
they're so funny. I constantly. You should probably do the outro before my phone cuts me off. And I'm not sure if the 2-factor authentication on my Chromebook works. So I might just be gone for today. I don't know yet.
I'm gonna do the outro then.
Do it.
Alright, thank you everybody for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, we have a Spotify. If you're watching on Spotify, we got a YouTube.
Spotify.
If you're watching on either. I said it like that because it took everything in me to not say spoofy.
Spoofy.
But if you're watching on either, make sure to go follow us on Instagram and
join the Discord.
Yeah.
Draw fan art now.
Indeed. We need fan art. You need to go in the Discord. And you need to follow us on Instagram. All legally binding. That being said, Coen, this was fun. I will probably talk to you later, as well as the viewers. All right. Have a nice time. Bye.
See you, everyone. Are you gonna be ascending this episode again, just like you did in the last one?
I got sick of it. I ascended too many times.
Dang. You're just too ascended to do it again?
Yeah, I mean, it took a lot of energy, you know? Like, I was, like, tired.
Yeah, I get that.
I slept in today because of it, and I don't want to have to do that all the time.
I mean, like, I ascend every time my dad cooks, and also my mom cooks, because they're both very good at cooking. So,
yeah.
Maybe that's why maybe that's why I pass out after dinner sometimes.
Maybe. Or maybe it's easier for you to ascend because you're putting energy into your body as you're ascending.
Kids, if you want to ascend, eat.
Yeah, you should eat while doing it.
That explains America.
I was almost spit out my water.
You're welcome.